diet or not to diet?
That is the question.
Don't diet! Mystery solved.
Hey, it's Al here with
Extraordinary
Athletes, here helping you fit fitness even into the busiest of lives.
So don't forget to subscribe, click that like button, click that bell notification button so that you never ever miss our videos.
And for today, we're going to be continuing our mini-series where we take a look at Jeff Cavalier over at Athlean X and his 5 tips for getting ripped. As always, we're going to be taking the ordinary athlete's perspective on the matter. And we've already covered one of his tips where we talk about prioritizing strength training over cardio. So if you've missed that video, be sure to check it out.
If you did miss that video, here's a little backstory. A while back, Jeff Cavalier released a video outlining 5 tips for getting and maintaining being ripped all year round. And unlike a lot of these other online videos, Jeff did not cover any nonsensical and quick, easy fixes or gimmicks or fitness fads.
No, instead Jeff covered 5 key things that all take hard work and are all aimed at forming good long-term life habits. These are key components for anyone who wants to have a great body composition. So just to recap, here were his 5 tips. Number 1, no dieting. Number 2, drink water. Number 3, prioritize weight training over cardio. Number 4, lift what you should. And number 5, consistency.
And what we're going to be doing is delving a little bit deeper into each one of these tips in separate videos and providing you a background in how and why an XOAer should be utilizing these tips. And for today, we're going to be covering the topic of dieting.
Don't diet.
Right. And more generally though, we're going to be getting into 3 broad topics. First, the problem with the concept of dieting, which Kat is enthusiastically ready to get into. Second, we're going to be talking about supplement usage. And third, we're going to cover the notion of cheat meals. So let's get into it.
The problem with the concept of dieting. Now, Jeff covers this point lots of times in numerous videos.
You can't diet. You can get rid of the diet term. You can't. And the biggest mistake is dieting. You can't diet. But I'm going to say it again because it needs to be said here, and that is dieting does not work.
So what's the problem with this concept? Well, there are 2 issues here. Number 1 is that diets are temporary. And if you follow Jeff over at Athlean X, you will notice that he makes a reference to this a lot when he's talking about dieting. What people need to focus on are long-term habit-forming changes to their nutrition. And while that may seem daunting at first, if you really look into it, it's fairly simple. You learn it once, and then you're good for life. Now, what happens with dieting? Well, let's say you try one and say it's the juicing diet. And you may even like it at first, but then eventually you get off of it and you hop to another. Maybe you try intermittent fasting, and maybe this one works for a while as well. But then you get off of it again, gain the weight back, and then you want to get in shape for summer. So you decide to try the raw food diet, thinking that this will be the one. And on you always go, struggling to keep your weight and body composition where you want it. On our channel, we actually coined the term fad diet hopping in order to refer to this phenomenon, and it does not work. And our point is that the diet process is actually not easier than the long-term solution of changing your habits for life. And people think that dieting is easier and that lifelong habits, ooh, that's daunting and hard. But the truth is that once you've learned them, they become second nature and rudimentary just as any part of your daily habits. So let's dispel this myth that changing habits on the long haul is hard. Yes, it'll take a little bit of work in the beginning, but it will be much easier than jumping from diet to diet and dealing with the roller coasters of ups and downs of your body composition. So ditch this concept of dieting once and for all. You do not want temporary solutions. You want long-term success.
The second issue with diets is less about the concept and more about understanding how they work or how they don't work. Now, the main point here is that not all diets are made equal. Sure, there are some decent ones out there, and if you can stick with it and make it part of your daily life, then more power to you, that's awesome. But a lot of them out there are complete garbage and a total waste of your time. And even those diets that may work in the short run might not be all that good for you. And that's to say that even those good diets aren't going to be good for you if you can't make them a part of your life and actually stick with them. And that's a big reason why diets based on deprivation don't tend to work. And it's been well documented that even in cases where people succeed in a diet and they do lose weight, oftentimes after that diet is done, they end up gaining the weight back. And sometimes they even gain back more than what they started with. In fact, this one NBC article pointed out that the statistics are grim. By some estimates, more than 80% of people who have lost weight regain all of it or more after 2 years. The article goes on to note that researchers at the University of California analyzed 31 long-term diet studies and found that about 2/3 of dieters regained more weight within 4 or 5 years than they initially lost. The type of weight fluctuations that come from diet hopping are not healthy. And typically, the types of diets that require extreme deprivation are not sustainable and are likely to lead you back down a path of weight gain. Many articles, including the NBC one we just cited, have reported on this issue. The article pointed out that a study in the journal Obesity found that people who were on a very strict calorie deprivation diet ended up gaining back significantly more weight than people who were on a more lenient plan. We're actually thinking of making a video all about how that happens, so if you're interested in seeing that, let us know in the comments below. But our main takeaway here is that in our society now, all about instant gratification, where everyone wants everything really fast, everyone turns to these extreme deprivation diets that end up being completely counterproductive to your goal. So be honest with yourself when you're considering your nutritional plan. Keep dieting out of it and focus on making lifelong, habit-forming changes. We promise it's not as hard as you think.
The second topic we're going to be covering here is all about supplement usage. And honestly, supplements are a topic that we could probably make an entire video on alone. And maybe we'll do that. But it's certainly an issue that has to be brought up as part of this entire conversation around dieting. A lot of people seem to think that the trick to staying ripped all year round is going to come down to which supplements they're taking. And that's simply not true. But there appears to be a supplement obsession going on right now in the health and fitness world. But let's drop some serious honesty here for a sec. You probably don't need supplements. I personally always used to get so fired up when I would have somebody, especially someone new to fitness, come and ask me which supplements they needed to start taking, when I knew that their exercise and nutrition were nowhere near where they should be. It just makes no sense. And as Alan Roberts at Every Damn Day Fitness reminds us,
supplements are just that, supplemental. They are to fill a hole in your training, in your nutrition.
In fact, he's actually really passionate about this topic, and he often points out that,
what supplement should I take to help maximize my gains? You work ass off, lift heavy weight, lift volume, lift intelligently, get enough rest, get enough nutrition. There is no ingredient in a supplement that's gonna help you that much. When you're first starting out, you shouldn't even take them.
He is animated, and he's also 100% right. And it's probably good that more and more people like him on YouTube are now giving it to you straight, as opposed to trying to take your money and sell you some snake oil. And in fact, a lot of the people who are currently trying to sell you supplements are probably over-promising, if not completely outright lying. And they're doing it in order to be able to try to make lots of money. And if you wanted to, you could go through every type of supplement. There's
L-carnitine, branched-chain amino acids, BCAAs, L-arginine, various types of pre-workout, creatine, nitric oxide, beta-alanine.
Yes, and the list goes on and on and on. There's tons of supplements out there. And so you could go and investigate each supplement for yourself and find out which are credible and which aren't. There's a lot of baseless claims about supplements out there. And in fact, if you're interested, James Linker over at Shredded Sports Science has done a really good job in some of his videos of breaking down some of the bogus claims around certain supplements.
And so what is the most significant support of L-carnitine for fat loss? Well, Center et al. 2012 did find a positive relationship between L-carnitine supplementation and fat loss in overweight cats. I do not. YouTube Fitness Can you hear me? There are better things to spend your money on than BCAAs.
But apart from figuring out which claims are false and trying to discern the bogus supplements from the ones that may actually have some scientific backing, there's a key underlying point here. And that is that you really probably don't need to be concerning yourself with supplementation at all. Don't make the mistake of thinking that if you take X, that'll be what helps you lose that unwanted weight, or that'll be the supplement that helps you get jacked. A lot of newbies end up getting lost down this path, and they start to really believe that they need to take whatever it is in order to see improvements. Let's build those muscles! Let's take what we gotta take.
Hey, you don't need those.
No, I do, to build muscles.
No, you don't. Give them to me.
What are you doing?
Give them to me.
I need them for my muscles.
You don't need them. You don't.
Don't do this to yourself. Instead, take your body to its maximum genetic potential by weight training hard and consistently, eating right, and making sure you get your sleep in. Even as a busy XOA'er, you'll be surprised at how far you can go like this. For our extraordinary athletes out there, if we're being honest, it'll take years and years of training before you should even begin to consider supplementation. And honestly, probably not even then. So trust us on this, and you'll see that we probably just saved you hundreds, if not thousands, of otherwise ill-spent dollars. You're welcome.
Our third topic is cheat meals. The concept of cheat meals is starting to become a real problem in our culture. We see articles about them everywhere, and our favorite online personalities are always discussing them and sometimes even glorifying them. They have started to become a staple of most people's conception of how to diet.
Let's do this.
Al, what kind of a meal is this? Didn't you just say that you're starting some new diet so you could be in the best shape of your life?
Yeah, this is part of my diet. It's my cheat day.
First with the supplements. Now this? Ridiculous.
What was that?
This is not good, and we have two issues at play here. First of all of this promotion of cheat days and cheat meals and epic food challenges by even some of our favorite online celebrities could give people the wrong idea of what it means to be healthy and how to be healthy.
They have a cheat meal now and then, and it's something you really look forward to.
10,000 calories inside of here. The best thing for me is McDonald's.
The day off diet has been created for you.
It is going to be a couples cheat day today.
The problem here is that regular people may get inundated with this message that cheat days and cheat meals are a part of a normal and healthy nutrition plan. I mean, if you see really fit people doing this and it does nothing to affect their magnificent bodies, then maybe we should do it too. Unfortunately, this is incorrect. Many of these fitness personalities are able to do things that we as ordinary people cannot do in order to maintain the way they look. So therefore, it would be a mistake to take their lead on this because they're not speaking to the typical XOA'er. More specifically, we need to recognize that cheat meals and cheat days promote the notion of binging and gorging. And while people who are fitness experts and who live at the gym can get away with stuff like that, the rest of us shouldn't. And especially if you're overweight or if you're struggling with your fitness goals, just please don't do this. The second issue to note is that this idea of cheating promotes a skewed view of healthy nutrition. Most people still need to develop a healthy relationship with food and eating. Even having the idea of cheat days and cheat meals in mind is a bad way to approach your nutrition. It makes your nutrition plan seem almost adversarial, something you want to cheat from. And this mindset will set you up for unhealthy eating habits, which are then accompanied by feelings of regret when you do eat something that you enjoy, and that should not be the case. You can and should develop healthy eating habits that work for you and you enjoy as well. And as seen in our previous videos, Kat often gets made fun of for the simple way that she eats.
I like to keep things real simple. All my ingredients are whole ingredients, they're usually raw, and I like to keep them separate from one another.
But she actually likes eating like that. It works for her and she enjoys it, and there's no need to cheat. And that is exactly the point. And that's something that we were talking about in regards to dieting. You shouldn't hate what you're eating in a day. And if you are, then your diet plan is just not working for you long term. So what you need to do is you need to make a nutrition plan that is healthy, that helps you achieve your goals, and that doesn't make you want to significantly cheat away from it. And when you do eat something that you enjoy, you're not going to feel guilty about it.
So there you have it, everyone. This was our take on Jeff Cavalier's Don't Diet tip. And hopefully we were able to give the perspective as an extraordinary athlete and even teach you how to implement this tip into your own life. So if you found this helpful, share it with friends or anyone that you may know that could benefit from this perspective on dieting.
And what about the 3 other remaining tips that Jeff over at Athlean X mentioned? Well, we're going to be covering those as well in subsequent videos in this little mini series that we've created.
So if you like this video, crush that like button and subscribe to our channel, and also hit that bell notification so that you never miss our videos.
And if you have any other tips or tricks for getting ripped and staying ripped that you want us to cover, let us know in the comments below. We'd be happy to make a video about that too. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.